we'll start with the state of play. My hot take is this was the best show, and I'll explain why when we get to the very end of it, when we get to like our final thoughts. But Sony, like, I think it's partially because, again, they over-delivered from what my expectations were. And again, this is also pure bias. It's my number one game that was announced was the Marvel Fighter because, and I said it, and I freaked out on stream. Arc Systems Works is my favorite developer. They do everything right. They are the best 2D fighting developer out there. I don't give a shit about Street Fighter fans. I don't care about fucking Mortal Kombat or any of them. You have nothing on the kings of Arc Systems Work. Guilty Gear, BlazBlue, the Persona fighting games, Grand Blue Fantasy, the Dragon Ball fighting game that they did. Those guys understand how to make a fun and visually vibrant fighting game, and they somehow gave them the keys to the Marvel Kingdom. And I was saying in the Discord, I think I might have, by like when we were talking about like Dream Pie in the Sky games, I might have said at one point, because it sounds like something I had said, like Arc Systems Works getting the license to something crazy like Marvel. I may have not. I may just be mixing up with something quite different I said. But like when I saw Arc Systems Works, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm surprised that like they're showing up here, but I wonder what they're up to. And as soon as Cap's shield showed up, I went, there's no fucking way that that's what they're doing. And sure enough. And then, like, they're getting, I don't know who the guy who's doing the art styles for it, but it almost feels like they're going after like a lot of shonen anime and like having some real fun with just making these really interesting different designs to them all. And man, like, as a guy who loves everything they do with the way that they animate their fighting games, like, this is one of the few games that if they have a special edition with any sort of like figures or something, I might actually be tempted because god damn, those guys know what they're doing. And like, if there's any game from that entire presentation that I would say is a surefire, well-reviewed game, it's going to be that. And the fact that they're also they're taking the balls too to do a four tag instead of the usual, like Marvel vs. Capcom always does 3, which by the way, Marvel vs. Capcom, what happened that suddenly Arc Systems Works got that? Like, it's one thing if they just weren't making that game for a while, like almost immediately after, because I can't remember what the newest one was, but it was terribly received.
Infinite, right?
Yeah, I think so. It was terribly received. So
it was also
all
terrible.
Of a sudden, Arc Systems Works gets it, and I'm like, oh, that's different. And now that that's done, like I was stunned. Like there's a whole lot of other little things in this, but like I could not believe that came out there. Like I know Chris, obviously Final Fantasy Tactics. So go off, King. Go have fun talking about one of the things that you've wanted forever finally being a thing.
Well, actually, just to jump in also on that Marvel fighting game, I am not into modern fighting games. I don't like them as much. Like, I don't mind playing the Mortal Kombat games, like the story mode of them, because I love the Mortal Kombat story, like the first few games and stuff. There's a tournament, and if you lose, cool. Yeah, like it's such a cool idea and everything. So I always loved that, right? But when it comes to actually playing Mortal Kombat, I love the first 3 games. Like, give me Super Nintendo old arcade. Yeah, I'll play those. Same as Street Fighter 2. Loved that. I have no desire for, like, the updates for Street Fighter 6, all of that. I have no desire. I will admit, this Marvel Arcs fighting game did actually excite me. It looked really fun. It looked really cool. It kind of gave off Marvel versus Capcom vibes, obviously, but just like the Japanese kind of take on it, like, you know, mech Iron Man being more mechy versus just like normal Iron Man and stuff. I thought it was a really cool art style, right? Like I loved it. So I'm actually quite excited for that fighting game too. I'd actually maybe pick it up, but
I thought it was really cool. Like, just jumping, I want to jump into it before you move on. Like, I thought it was really cool. Like the impression I got, it gave actually for me, it felt a lot like the old Marvel vs. Capcom games that we grew up with, and I thought that was really cool. This game does not interest me at all. I am not a fighting person, and I am fatigued out of Marvel. But like the art style looks really cool, and going back to like what Adam was saying about getting like a collector's edition, this is one that would benefit from, like, would be really cool to buy like the art book for, to see how they like envision these like characters and stuff.
Yeah, the art book, some statues and stuff, or like little like action statue figures or whatever that sometimes you get with like the PlayStation collector editions. I mean, it's PlayStation. They're probably going to do it anyways, but I think it would benefit huge. I'm excited to see what characters they announce, like as it keeps being in development.
The part of my body that's like, oh my god, they're gonna have Arc Systems where Guilty Gear level Wolverine. Oh, I can't wait. I need this so bad because I mean, if you're doing 4x4 tag, like you're gonna have a relatively large roster to start. Like somewhere probably in like the 12 to 18 range, I would imagine.
Yeah,
and they'll add so.
Yeah, if you only got 8 characters, like you already know what 8 are going to be included every time.
Like I think more often than like most Arc System Works games, like you're going to expect somewhere around like the 12 to 15 range probably to start. So I would be shocked if it's less than 12.
Oh yeah, I think it would even have to be higher because of that 4-player tag.
I'd say
like,
I'd probably like you're probably looking at like 26 to 30 to start.
Yeah,
I don't think they would go that far to start. I think you'd probably be seeing like maybe at max 20, but I would imagine like if I was to put money on it, I'd say 16 to start.
Yeah.
No, because I think with 44 it feels. Anyways, I think it'd be stale at that point.
Well, the reason that I think that way is because like obviously this game is being like 4x4 tag. It's being designed for esports, so. There's going to obviously be a meta, so if they put too much in too early, it's going to kind of mess around with that. So I imagine they'll start slow and then slowly build it up. And Guilty Gear's been like that too, where the roster at start was, I think, like low 10s, and it's just keeps, because they don't stop. Like every month there's something. So I think for the newest one, I think they've put out like 10 new characters already. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like this one, it's Marvel. Unless they plan on waiting for a sequel for certain characters, they'll definitely grow it. I feel like it's going to be
and there's always the chance too that they could throw a random, like I wouldn't be shocked if they just throw a Guilty Gear character in there for shits and giggles. Like they could always do some weird crossover stuff too.
True. Multiverse. Yeah.
Go to your tactics there, King.
Yeah, I've been sitting on this for a while. I mean, literally since like mid-90s, I've been sitting on waiting for this. So finally, we're getting a Final Fantasy Tactics. I guess it's a remake. People are saying it's a remake. This is one of those ones where like it's hard to tell if it's a remaster or a remake.
It looks like they're doing both. Like it looks like they're porting.
Yeah,
and then they're also doing like a sort of remake.
Yeah, like it looks like you can play the original, or they've like cleaned up the original. And
I really hope that it's not just a case of you can only play the original and then there's the remake. I would rather play like the remake controls and stuff that they're doing, but still have the old graphics. Because honestly, I don't know how you thought about it. I don't particularly like the remake graphics they've done.
Oh, I'm into it. I'm so into it. But that's because I'll take anything at this point. But I think even the original, they've made some changes to it. Like, I don't think it's just like literally a port. I think they said it was like a port with still a couple, like a little bit of changes, like still a little bit of like a different translation and a little bit of changes to gameplay. But for the most part, it's like still keeping with the original. Either way, I'm picking it up. There's no way I'm not. This is going on my Steam Deck day one. I'm buying it. I may pre-order it during the Steam Summer Sale for no reason at all because it's digital and will not sell out. But still, I'm just so excited. Like it's like there's a couple PS1 games I've been just like, Square, where are you? Like this is dumb, and it's like Xenogears and Final Fantasy Tactics. Xenogears obviously is one where it's like we may never see it. Hopefully we do. But Tactics is like, Square, what are you doing? Like this is a huge franchise you're still popular with. You've remade all the others. You've made every Final Fantasy available on every platform. Where the hell is Tactics? And it's finally here. Now, is it a full remake to me in the sense of like new graphics, new everything where they've like redone it? No, it looks like they took the original and made more like not even Octopath Traveler because it's not the 2D HD, but like they still
really
kept
it's almost like mobile-ish.
Yeah, but it still looks like honestly exactly what I wanted. Like keep the original, don't change it too much, clean it up for modern, make some changes, like fix some translation, hopefully fix some of the save issues where like you could be right before a battle, you're not strong enough, and now you're fucked and you have to restart the game over kind of situation. But it looks exactly like what I wanted, and I saw it and I was like, thank goodness it's finally here. I am so excited to play through it, and I probably will multiple times. It's finally time for me to live that Final Fantasy Tactics life again. So excited.
Kaylan, what stood out to you in the state of play?
I mean, there's like the ones I was coming to expect, and I was excited to see like Ghost of Yotei, and I still am super excited about that game. But for me, it was a lot of like the new stuff that we saw. So like, I mean, it wasn't a surprise, but it was a surprise to see here was the 007 First Light.
Mm-hmm.
I love IO Interactive, and to see, I can't wait to see what they do with James Bond. And like, not only did we get like a cinematic trailer, but we got like a little bit of gameplay in the trailer too. And
I was relieved with what I saw because it made me think, okay, it's not just going to be about stealth. Like that was my only concern.
It's not an open puzzle. Yeah.
Like I'm not like fully on board yet, but I'm in the case of like, all right, I'm willing to see what you got now. Like you've piqued my interest.
Yeah, I mean, like they're going from a new perspective, a new, like it's not just, hey, here's Bond at his peak kind of thing. It's kind of neat to see him in like starting out and how that works.
It's like
and
pre stuff. 007.
Yeah, he's just 07. He doesn't have the 00.
Yeah, I love this. It reminds me of like how in the Spider-Man games, it's like its own version of Spider-Man. You already know the character and it's its own origin story and characters. They can do with it whatever they want. This feels like it's being its own thing. It's not connected to the movies. Like maybe we'll get a trilogy or something eventually of these games and it's like a different Bond.
I hope so, because that means this game's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this. This is the one that like I think in the PlayStation like showcase, this was the one for me that was like, oh wow, I'm actually like, this was the best one for me that came out.
Yeah, I'm a huge Bond guy, and Adam, this is going to shock you. I'm more excited about this than Tactics. Like when I saw this and saw what it actually was, like its own story and movie, it's like a whole different Bond.
I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, because it's not like they're making a new Tactics. It's just a redo. So it's like, yeah. I could understand that too. Also, like, yeah, I've been clamoring for this for a long time too. Like, I want this to be like a 10 out of 10 game because I want Bond games to be good again.
I have a really big hope for this one because I don't think either of you watched the PC gaming show on Sunday.
No, I'm not a nerd.
They went fully into this game. They actually went and talked with the developers and did interviews and they talked about it. And yeah, like they showed a bit more that they didn't even show in the state of play. Honestly, I think I saw this game 3 times during different showcases.
Yeah, because they talked about it a little bit, I think, during Summer Game Fest as well.
Yeah, and I think it came up in the Future Game Show, and it came up huge in the PC gaming show. That they went like in the PC gaming interviews show and everything.
The other stuff they watched. So they mentioned like it's like what kind of gameplay will be in there. Like, will they mention? Are there things like driving like parts in there? Like the trailer makes it seem like there might be, but at the same time, also you can't tell what's a cutscene and what's gameplay.
I saw somebody say the perfect way to describe this game, and it's like as if Uncharted and Hitman had a baby, and it like
you have my attention close. If that's what they're aiming for.
I'm in.
Yeah, and there was more gameplay at the PC gaming show, and it did look like, the cover fire kind of situations Nathan Drake would get into, also sneaking in and doing some stuff like Hitman, like very Bond,
but almost like Dishonored, where it's like, hey, get from start to finish. There are 5 different routes, and you can choose how loud or how sneaky.
Yeah, if that's what they're after, like I'm very curious on what this does, because like the last thing I wanted was just another stealth game. Because I mean, look, like Metal Gear Solid's about to come out anyway with that, so it's like let's not. I miss the old action romps that Bond games were. Obviously, like they can't. Like I'm not asking for them to be like over the top Call of Duty shooters. No, but I'm asking for it to have a little fun with it. And based on the little bits of the trailer they showed, it looks like the fun's there.
It looks very like Uncharted fun, where you snuck in somewhere, you're doing something, and then shit hits the fan, and you grab a boat and get the fuck out of there very cinematically, like very explosive. And I love that in the game too. Like they're obviously using people's likenesses. Morgan from The Walking Dead apparently works at MI6. He's just there talking to M at the beginning, and the guy playing Bond. Like I was like, I feel like it's him. Even my wife, I showed her the trailer because she's a Bond fan too, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's Dexter." Like there's a new Dexter show where it's a young Dexter and it's like him, and it's because he's got this perfect smirk. And if you go and look, I quickly went on Reddit and it's like, who's playing the new Bond? And it is just like, they have not announced, but this is clearly Dexter. And it's just a whole series of threads like Dexter is now Bond. They won't confirm, but clearly it's him because it's like his likeness, his smirk, his everything, and he's perfect because he's I think he's Irish, the actual actor, but he plays like a perfect Dexter, and he can clearly probably do like a bit of a British accent too. But yeah, it's like obviously not maybe your traditional Bond. He doesn't look much like a Sean Connery, but I think for this, he looks perfect. And I'm sure the internet is also going to, for some reason, crush on Q. Q had like a nice mustache and hair going and stuff. I feel like Q is going to be, for some reason, the internet's going to meme on him real hard.
More like a thirst cute.
Trap. Yeah, that is exactly what we're going to see. I'm calling it now.
Right here.
This is going to be the amount of like step on me Q master or some shit. Like it's going to be all over the internet when the game gets closer to release. I can just tell you.
They're going to call him Q.T so they can call him QT.
See, it's already started. We're starting it here. We did it first.
Yeah, right here.
The other thing I wanted to point out was Romeo's a dead man because that looked ridiculous.
That did look cool. I have no idea what's
happening. I'm surprised that you were going to say something nice about it, Kaylan, because that looks like the kind of game that you'd be like, oh, this is too weird.
Well, this is like what I was going to say. It's not so like it looks cool. I'm not saying that this is like a must play for me, but like the one thing I'd give to PlayStation with this is that there was a lot of stuff that was weird that I'm like, hey, I'm interested. I'll keep it on my radar to check it out. I'm not saying it's cool, but like there was a lot of neat and original ideas in the sense of Romeo is dead. Anchors away. What's the like? I can tell this name is not from you, but it was almost there. It was the Pragmata one from Capcom.
Yeah,
like there was a lot of stuff that was really cool where I was like, oh, this is neat. I might be interested if it comes out, but like I'm at least interested in seeing more. But yeah, no, the Romeo is Dead is like the pinnacle of that. Like I thought it was really funny and the trailer was well done, so like I was interested. But the thing that PlayStation did that I thought was really cool is having the variety in there and having a lot of stuff that I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, and I am gonna keep an eye out for it. One thing that we have to deal with is overcome the PlayStation State of Play curse that these games will never come out or they will stealth and we'll never see them, like they'll get released and just forgotten about.
Yeah, like that was the big takeaway that I took from it is that I didn't feel like I was slipping away anytime I was watching it. Like when we get to the other two, I'll talk about different feelings I had over the course of that. But like with this one, it was really a case of, I like there were moments where I'm like, all right, like I don't care about that. I don't really care about that either. But then something else would come and be like, ooh, that's kind of neat. Ooh, that's kind of neat. And then Romeo is a Dead Man came out. I'm like, what the fuck is that? All right. And that was like a fucking adrenaline shot. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm up.
Yes.
It was very adrenaline shot. That entire thing from the get-go is like, was that the one where they started sitting around having dinner at a table?
Yeah. I didn't know what the hell it was for a second.
I didn't either. I was like, this is fucked up. I love it.
I thought it was gonna be like one of those like what are the games you play, Adam, where it's just like a bunch of teenagers hanging out in Salt Lake City just moping.
Oh, like well, just like any Life is Strange or whatever.
Yeah. And to be fair, I feel like my explanation of mopey kids in Salt Lake City is pretty accurate.
Well, that I mean, like when I first saw the trailer, like when it does that weird like almost like Adult Swim cartoon thing, I'm like, is this some weird like Rick and Morty project that they're throwing in there?
Yeah.
And then as soon as they brought up Suda51's name, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, once I saw that, I knew it was going on.
You're slipping away. Let me heal you, and stabs him right in the eye. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, I honestly thought
also the music choices. Oh, that song was a banger.
Yeah. I thought after he was stabbed in the eye, it was going to switch, and it was like a puzzle game where you're like inside his head and like something to do with like putting blood blocks together.
Catherine.
Like I had no idea where it was going, and I was like, this could be anything. And then Pseudo51 came up, and I'm like, never mind, I know what's happening.
I have like one gripe I want to bring up before we move on, but Chris, I'll let you kind of put your final words into State of Play before I...
Yeah, I guess to finish off what I was going to say, though, is like, it was a short thing, so it didn't take too much time out. And I honestly felt like there was like the odd thing where you're like, but there wasn't like a dead point. Like it was more of a case of like, that's not for me. That's not for me. And then eventually something else would come along and be like, all right, I'm still invested. Normally State of Plays are like 15 minutes of over explaining why this game is going to be interesting that's coming out in a month. And you're just like, yeah, whatever.
I'm not going to lie. I was half expecting this show to be half like dark, dreary Soulsborne games. And then the other half was like Japanese anime mech games that I don't like not even popular ones, just like random ones just being thrown at the screen. I was pleasantly surprised with the State of Play. Like I loved the variety. It wasn't all for me, but like it's unrealistic for me to think all of it would be for me. It had like Final Fantasy Tactics is a remake of a 1990s game, right? And then you get Bond, which is a huge AAA blockbuster, like known around the world franchise. But then you get something like Romeo is Dead or whatever the heck that one is called. Yeah, it's Dead Man. And like that's just like a out of here new different thing, right? And then a Marvel fighting game. Like there was some known IP, some new stuff, and it was a nice variety where it's like, even when it wasn't for me, it was like, oh, that looks interesting. Maybe it's not for me to play, but like, I'm not bored. And sometimes
even the indie stuff was relatively interesting this time around because there was like the Journey looking one, like the Sword of the Sea, I think it was, or whatever.
Sword of the Sea. Yeah, that looks cool. I definitely
was it Noragami, like the one that looked like an origami sort of like platformer?
Hirogami
thing.
Yeah.
The only one that if there was one thing I could bitch about, though, the baby steps thing where the guy's like, "Oh, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen," and I went, "Your sense of humor is fucking broken."
Is that that weird one with the guy walking?
Yeah,
it's a walking sim.
Like I don't get that. He passed this off like it was going to be some of the weirdest, like funny stuff, and I'm like, no, that was Romeo's a Dead Man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was more funny.
Yeah. I was waiting for. I was like, is this like one of those like spoof trailers that they used, but like to launch a new game, and it's like, oh,
is this Goat Simulator 4?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I thought for a second it was Goat Simulator 4.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, this has got to be in that. It's got to be.
I was hoping to see more from Metal Gear Solid Delta. Like, I'm cautiously optimistic of getting into that game, but we'll see. For me though, I have a gripe. Like, I was excited when I saw Astrobot come on, and like, I was hoping for like a paid DLC. I am willing to throw money at this game for a paid DLC. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I am tired, and I do not want more challenge levels. We don't need challenge levels for Astrobot. I don't feel like anyone like that game was getting praises sang to them from the rooftops by everybody, and no one was praising it for its challenge levels, for the difficulty, right? Like nobody's playing Astro.
It feels like they're just doing content for the few people that they think are still playing it, which are the speedrunners now.
The speedrunners or the Twitch streamers, and it's like there are people like I'm happy to throw you $20 or a whole bunch more levels. Like I want that game to be more of an homage game as opposed to a Super Meat Boy kind of experience where it's like, hey, challenge levels and speedruns. I don't want to do that. I'm playing Astrobot to relax and have fun and kind of just chill out and kind of feel good, not to stress out. And that's not what I want from Astrobot. Like I'm not gonna say nobody, but it's not a vocal minority who talks about that final level when you collect all 300 like characters. Nobody's like, man, that level was the best. Like if you go online, most people bitch about that level. Yeah. And they're just doubling down on the difficulty. It's like, just make homage levels. Find more PlayStation games that you can kind of get licensing for, that you can make kind of spiritual successor levels to. Do it. Like that's really all we want.
I agree. Because when they announced that like Christmas level that they gave for free, that was fantastic. I have gone in and I played that and 100%ed that level because it was a new, just fun level. It has its puzzles, it has its combat, but it's not like a challenge level. I don't go in for the challenge levels. I've tried one or two and I'm like, this isn't for me. Like, I don't need it.
Yeah.
Where that Christmas level, I'll go back every Christmas and play that level again. I would love to do that. It's just perfect. I want more of that, and I agree. I would totally pay for $20 or something for a few more levels or something. No.
I feel like you could do so much with this game, and it doesn't have to be platform. Like make like we were just talking, like make a Hitman level where it's like you got to go around and like maybe not like kill someone, but just like go around. You have to like cause mischief in like a level or something like that. Like
there's so many more franchises that Sony has that they could
make a Sly Cooper level, right? Like there's
a Sly Cooper level would be cool. Twisted Metal, let's get all fucked up. Astrobot just running people over.
I don't know. Like this is one of those things where you've got a platform like you can just literally make like DLC packs.
Yeah, they should.
Every 6 months. $20, here's 5 new levels. Like we got licensing and you get new characters.
Yeah, I was disappointed at that point too. When he announced that it was just like some more challenge levels, I was like, oh, this is such a tease. Like this should have been something bigger.
I don't think I said it on stream, but in my head, I'm like, oh, Kaylan's going to be pissed.
Rightfully so.
But like overall, I think the general thought is like, it was better than we all expected because, we just assume it's going to be meh, but it was kind of like mid to like kind of slightly above mid.
It's like that student that just sleeps through class once in a while. They, get a 55, 60 on the test, it's not great, but it goes on the fridge because you expected less of them.
Look, I gave it somewhere between a C plus and a B minus. The fact that that's my number one tells you my overall feelings on the week. But like the fact that like calling a C plus to B minus like state of play as good is kind of telling you how bad state of plays generally have been.
Oh yeah, they've been pretty bad. Yeah, I gave this one a B plus. Like, okay. I'm in there. It was like good. Like nothing blew me away where it's like a new God of War.
I think I was also just way harsher this year, as you can probably tell.
I'd give it a C plus. Like it was fine. There's games that I was like interested in, but like aside from like James Bond and Ghost of Yotei and a brief glimpse into Metal Gear Solid, there wasn't anything where it's like that's on my calendar. Watch that come out. Like we're gonna
Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah, no. I mean. I've already hit my quota for Final Fantasy games.
One.
just in life. Just in life, I'm good.
In life.
So like, yeah. So for me, it's a C plus. Like, it's not bad. Like, cool. There's some games that are interesting, but nothing where it's like, this is day one when it comes out.